Hello, this message is for Joe. Joe writes to me asking a question about Japan. He says, you probably get many emails every day, so if you don't get back to me on this, I understand. Don't worry about it. I do get a lot of emails every day. Sometimes it's hard to keep up, but that's I'm happy to respond. It's really a pleasure for me to try to respond. Sometimes I can't get back as quick as I can, but I really appreciate you writing. Please never, anybody out there that hears this, please never hesitate to write. And the best place to reach me is directly by email at softypapa@gmail.com. That's the best place. And you say, but I was wondering just what you would advise, what your advice would be to help someone achieve their life goal. Ooh, life goals, love that kind of stuff. When that goal is living and working in Japan, which is my life goal. Excellent goal. I have looked into a couple of programs such as the JET program, but I'm pretty much lost as to what I must do to get started. If it's not too personal or anything, I was wondering what allowed you to move to Japan. That would be me. And one more thing, would you say that living in Japan is expensive? Thank you, Joe. P.S. A really nice P.S. Thank you. I appreciate that P.S. Well, let's tackle that. You're looking into the JET program. The JET is the Japan Education and Training Program, or Japan Education Teaching Program, I think it's called. It's the elite program for English teachers here in Japan who are basically placed into the Japanese public school system, working as ALTs, or assistant language teachers. That's what I am. I'm not a JET, though. I'm employed by a private school directly. But JETs are typically dispatched to different schools throughout their career. They can work up to, I believe, 5 years. Check with My Argonauts channel. He's a JET that vlogs about the JET experience in Japan. He has a lot of great videos about the JETting program. JET program is hard to get into. I applied for it 20 odd years ago when I first tried to come to Japan and was rejected. They didn't want me. But if you get in, you've got a pretty good gig. They're kind of exclusive. People who are not in the JET program, at least my experience has been, they don't seem to interact much with the JETs. They seem to be kind of off on their own. I don't know why. Maybe it's just my own experience. Let's see, the JETs, I think they tend to pay a little bit better and have some better benefits as well. The fact that you're applying to the JET program tells me that you received your degree already, which is, if you're talking about what you need to have to get to Japan, that's pretty critical. It's not necessarily required to have a degree to get a job in Japan, but if you have it, the Japanese are all about propriety, protocol, and everything, your T's crossed and I's dotted. No, no. How about that? How about I's crossed and T's dotted? Yeah, you don't want that in Japan. You want the opposite around. Have everything just right. And coming to Japan with that diploma, or applying for a job from overseas with that diploma, is really a primary criteria to getting in. If you don't have that, this is talking to other people. If you don't have, they might see this video. If you don't have that degree, it's going to be an uphill battle. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but it will certainly be harder. Once you have your degree, though, once you get here, you'll have an easier time finding other jobs if you decide to stay beyond your contract limit. If you stay here for a very long time or get married, for example, and manage to get a resident visa, then things are much easier. You can work anywhere you want. If you get married to a Japanese national, it's pretty easy to get a resident visa, and you're in like then. If you get a permanent resident visa, then you're really here. You're probably here for good. They won't let you go. But other than having, okay, so how do you get here to Japan? If you've already got. I'm directing this part to Joe specifically. It sounds like by inference that you've already got your degree. You've got it. You need some money. I would say, actually Tokyo Sam did a video about this. TKYO Sam did a video about this sometime back about how much money you needed to have. I don't know anymore. I'm kind of out of the loop, but I would say I wouldn't want to come over with less than $3,000 to $5,000 to get started. Even if you had a job, it's nice to have some money to get started. A good company will help you out, get you an apartment, help you out with all that stuff. But it's good to have a buffer to get going from that first paycheck. Once you're established, you'll find that you'll have enough money if you're single. Standard teaching job in Japan pays about 250,000 yen a month. That's probably enough to cover all your expenses, have some left over for fun and games, and a little bit left over for savings. Don't forget to if you're here, don't forget to if you're paying your taxes in Japan, pay the taxes and file in your home country. If you're from the United States, where I'm from, you have, by law, you have to file your taxes. If you don't do that, you'll get in trouble. You can get in trouble down the line. Witness, there's many long-term Japanese foreigners staying in Japan a long time, 20-odd years later, who haven't been doing their taxes, and then they're faced with kind of a challenge in keeping on the up and up with their home countries. So look into that. You may be able, probably if you're just here for a year, you probably won't have to pay taxes in Japan, and you'll pay them back in the States. But I'm not an accountant. Check into that. So we're just talking about how to get here. I think you're there. I mean, you basically don't worry too much. If the JET program doesn't work out, go over to a website like gaijinpot.org and go to the forums there, and you'll find a job. They have a job, not just the forums. They have a job listing site there. Lots of resources online. When I first came to Japan, the internet didn't exist, and we had to do it the old-fashioned way. Newspaper articles. I looked in the San Francisco Chronicle, I think it was, and found advertisements for Japanese language or English teachers, and I was interviewed in San Francisco and got the job, and then came over. Wow, so old-fashioned. Wow. Now it's all Skype stuff, and I think all the internet stuff. But there's probably lots of jobs. They're a little more scarce these days with the global economic situation. A little harder to get, a little more competitive. But, and I hate to say it, but with the disaster that occurred in 2011, there's fewer teachers here, so maybe that's some respite there. I guess. But it's a sad thing all around. Prices of salaries haven't gone up for ages. When I first came here 20-odd years ago, my salary was $250,000. Yeah, I wish. 250,000 yen a month, and now it's still 250,000 yen a month, despite inflation. Though things are certainly more costly now, so it was certainly easier back in the day than it is now. If you're worried about if you're really more in for the money, then hey, maybe you ought to consider South Korea or China. I hear things are pretty good over there. But if you really want to be in Japan, come on over. You're doing the right thing. You've got all your ducks in a row. As for expenses, yeah, everything is expensive. Not as bad as some people make out. You can go to the supermarket and get reasonably priced things. Not all watermelons are $200, but they're all expensive. So that's for sure. But you can get by. Don't worry about it. And that's what I say to everybody all the time. Speaking of all the emails that I get on this subject, overwhelmingly, I'm overwhelmed. I'm stunned. I'm startled. I'm saddened sometimes by how much fear there is about such a venture as coming to Japan. I'm not talking to you, Joe, personally, but I get so many emails from people who say, I want to come to Japan, but I'm so afraid. I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm not criticizing you guys, but think about this. Put things into perspective. It's not like you're going to climb Mount Everest or go or trek across the Sahara Desert. You're coming to probably the safest country in the world, and the mechanisms to get here are tried and true and prepared. I mean, online, going to gaijinpot.org through the JET program, you won't come over until you've got the job secured. You'll have a guaranteed place a guaranteed contract to get you through. Probably a place to live in, in the safest country, probably the safest country in the world. There's really not that much to fear. Don't worry about it. And most of the cases, these people are young. And if you're going to approach, if you don't mind me putting in my Papa hat, we're going into Softy Papa mode, not the mountain guy, but just the Papa side. As an old guy, simply say, don't wait. I mean, adventures like this just get harder as time goes by, as relationships and children and obligations and mortgages and things pop up. This is the time to do it. If you're in your 20s, if you finished college and you want to take a year and come overseas, do it now. Don't let the fears get in your way. I mean, I wouldn't say so much if you said you were going to climb K1 in the winter. Think about those fears. But if you're just coming to Japan to teach for a year or two as an English teacher, don't worry about it so much. Just do it. Just find a job, get a contract, hop on a plane, say goodbye to the folks. I'll see you in a year. Come visit me if you want on the holidays, and whatever. And then come and then have fun and just live. Okay, Softy Papa hat off. Back to me mode. There's my summary for John as you are planning to come to Japan. I think you've got it all. Your ducks are all lined up. Just we use only blanks though. You don't want to kill ducks. Okay. Okay. Thanks everybody. Bye bye. And hey, write anytime you want. softypapa@gmail.com. That's me, and I'll be happy to talk to you. Sayonara. Goodbye. Bye bye.